skin crawl when the first faint ripple reached his outlook post. What happened then the overconfident Throg was not prepared to take. Shann cried out, burying his face on his arm as pinwheels of scarlet light blotted out normal sight. There was an explosion, a deafening blast. He cowered, blind, unable to hear. Then, rubbing at his eyes, he tried to see what had happened. Through watery blurs, he made out the Throg's ship, not swinging now in serene indifference to Warlock's gravity, but whirling end over end across the sky as might a leaf tossed in a gust of wind. Its rim caught against a rust-red cliff, it rebounded and crumbled. Then it came down, smashing perhaps half a mile away from the smoking crater in which lay the mangled wreckage of the Terran ship. The disabled scout pilot must have played a last desperate game, making of his ship bait for a trap. The Terran had taken one Throg with him. Shann rubbed again at his eyes, just barely able to catch a glimpse of the second ship flashing away westward. Perhaps it was only his impaired sight, but it appeared to him that the Throg followed an erratic path, either as if the pirate feared to be caught by a second shot, or because that ship had also suffered some injury. Acid smoke reached up from the valley, making Shann reach and cough. There could be no survivor from the Terran scout, and he did not believe that any Throg had lived to crawl free of the chromal plate. But there would be other beetles swarming here soon. They would not dare to leave the scene unsearched. He wondered about that scout. Had the pilot been aiming for the survey camp? The absence of any rider beam from there, warning him off, so that he made the detour which brought him here. Or had the Trogs tried to blast the Terran ship in the upper atmosphere, crippling it, making this a forced landing? But at least this battle had cost the Trogs, settling a small portion of the Terran debt for the lost camp. The length of time between Shann's sighting of the grounded ship and the attack by the Trogs had been so short that he had not really developed any strong hope of rescue to be destroyed by the end of the crippled ship. On the other hand, seeing the Trogs take a beating had exploded his subconscious acceptance of their superiority. He might not have even the resources of a damaged scout at his command, but he did have Taggi, Togi, and his own brain. Since he was fated to permanent exile on Warlock, there might just be some way to make the beetles pay for that. He licked his lips. Real action against the aliens would take a lot of planning. Shann would have to know more about what made a Trog, more than all the wild stories he had heard over the years. There had to be some way a Terran could move effectively against a beetle head, and he had a lot of time, maybe the rest of his life, to work out a few answers. That Trog ship lying wrecked at the foot of the cliff. Perhaps he could do a little investigating before any rescue squad arrived. Shann decided such a move was worth a try and whistled to the Wolverines. This concludes Chapter 2.